Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be watching a video called Why the Dutch Built a Motorway into the Sea, in the sea. So I know that the Dutch are very good at like engineering things and at like, building things, especially like when it comes to water, like dams and stuff like that. But I have no idea why they would build a motorway in the actual sea. I don't know if it's because it's a sea, but I don't know, maybe it's a lake. I have no idea actually. But I've never heard of this before, so I don't know what to expect because I've never seen like, I don't know, it's weird. I can't think of like what a reason why they should do it, but I'm guessing they have valid reasons. It's not just because, oh, it looks cool or we just want to build something to be original. I'm guessing there's a purpose behind it and hopefully we'll find out. So let's check it out and comment, like, subscribe and start.
I'm in the historic city of Alkmaar in Holland. And if you just said, the country's actually called the Netherlands, Holland is only a small part of it, then 10 points to you. And then
but
minus
Holland
20
is one
points
part.
Because this actually is Holland. Anyway,
yeah, like
seems
isn't
like
Holland
a great
the same?
place, but this video is about how I got here. By crossing the sea on a bus. This is Leeuwarden, the capital of Friesland province in the north of the Netherlands, and not in
Okay,
Holland.
at the north. Yeah,
You
not
can
in
catch
Holland.
many buses from this bus station, but only one of them drives 32 kilometres across a sea. So we're going to get that one. And just to recap, this bus is going from here, Leeuwarden, to here, Alkmaar, via here, the sea.
Okay, it looks like
A one-way
a pretty big
ticket
distance, seeing
costs
it like
20 euros, but I've shelled out an extra €1 for a day ticket, so that I can get off and back on again. About 30 minutes into the journey, there's surprising news for Swiss passengers, as we turn off at the Dutch seaside village of Zurich. This is the last stop before we cross the sea, and in most countries that would mean the bus now drives onto a ferry. But this is the Netherlands, so instead, the road just carries straight on across the water.
That's crazy,
This
isn't it
isn't
the
a
ocean?
bridge. They literally just built a motorway in the sea. In fact, more accurately, what they built is called the Afsluitdijk. In English, that translates as the shut-off dike, and it's basically an extremely long dam that separates and shuts off the bay on the left from the
That's
North
crazy.
Sea on the right.
Oh my god, there's the
Behind that
ocean.
grassy bank.
Yeah, there's an ocean.
Construction began in 1927, with ships dumping a mixture of sand, silt, rocks and clay into the water in enormous quantities, eventually creating a 32-kilometre barrier that you could, for example, put a motorway on. The idea was that if you shut off the bay, you could drain it and lower the level of the water.
I guess it makes sense, yeah.
Why would you want to do that?
Because it gets flooded.
The productivity, shall we say, of Dutch people had been increasing, and now there were lots of little Dutch people, and the population was getting bigger. Normally, this would mean cramming more people into the same space, but a Dutch politician called Cornelis Lely came up with a brilliant idea. Why don't we make more space? It was such a brilliant idea that there's now a statue of him here, standing majestically looking out over the waves, next to a bin. So here's how it worked. Since much of the bay was very shallow, you only needed to drop the water level by a few meters to create a whole load of new land for housing and farming. These three huge areas, including all the cities and villages that stand on them now, didn't exist before the Afsluitdijk.
That's mind-blowing to me.
They're what's called polders. The Dutch had been draining lakes and creating polders for years. This was just the same thing on a much bigger scale.
That's crazy. You know what that
The project
sounds?
took 6 years to complete, with between 4,000 and
it's such a hard time.
5,000 people working on it every day. And here, in the middle of the dike, there's a monument to the workers, marking the spot where they closed off the final gap.
Oh my god, I love it.
But more interestingly for me right now, there's also a little cafe here which serves Frisian specialities such as slagers gehaktbal with pindasaus
that?
and frietjes.
Fries? What is
Well,
that?
I'm sold.
Oh, it looks good.
And I'm pretty sure I burned off most of the calories straight afterwards by climbing the observation tower. And hauling this door open. Up here,
windy.
you can see the almost surreal sight of the motorway stretching into nothingness in both directions.
That's crazy.
And it gives you a sense of what an incredible piece of engineering this really is.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is, however, an 80-year-old piece of engineering now, and like many 80-year-olds, it's in danger of becoming a little bit leaky. A 4-year programme of reinforcement has begun, which will replace the outer cladding of the dike while widening the body and raising it by 2 metres. This will protect it from rising sea levels in the future, allowing it to protect the thousands of Dutch people who live, work and catch buses on land that simply wouldn't be there without the Afsluitdijk.
Do you only have like one? Okay, now he's arriving. Oh, that's the monument. The guy that built this. Very majestic. Look at the waves, that's crazy.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do whack a like on it or leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I will see you soon.
Okay, so it wasn't because they built it because they kind of had to, because they like the Dutch are, I think, famous for just like saying, hey, there's an ocean, but we need people to live in here, so it's okay, like we'll fix it. Like I think other societies would be like, well, you know, we can't do anything about it, but not the Dutch. The Dutch are like, we're like, no, we can do something about this, which is crazy. I think when you take it like seeing it like this, it looks, you know, like if you don't have the context and you don't have like the history, I think when you just look at the thing, just like it's okay, well, it's like a highway or something, you would think it's like a bridge or something like that, and you wouldn't think it's like that special. But if you look at like the actual history and how like why they built this, is like, oh my god, that's crazy. Obviously, like the context of it, it's insane to me. The fact that it was just like they actually managed to build it, and of course like he explains it. He's like, well, you know, it was shallow, like it wasn't like that big, like the water was, you know, it wasn't like such a deep water, but still, like I'm still shocked, and like I still don't think I can't really wrap my head around how they actually like build this. Like I'm seeing it and he's explaining it to me, and I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, I understand the words, but I just do not have the mental capacity to actually understand how the thing like was built. Like how do you drain this? Like how do you drain the water? Like what equipment do you need? And it was in the 1920s, so obviously they didn't really have the things that we have these days. So I can't even imagine how to do it like today, and even less like how it would have been like 80 years ago. Again, it's the whole thing. I'm like, again, you're telling me, and I am understanding the words, but I'm not seeing it. The thing I need like an actual visual representation of how they actually like managed this, because it's crazy. And it took them 6 years, which I think is actually quite a short amount of time in order for the length of it. It's 30 kilometers if I understood it correctly, which doesn't seem like that long, but at one point he was like, well, it's like 30 minutes into the journey, so it's like, wait, like how long does it take you to, because it's like it doesn't really have curves, obviously, it's just, you know, straight. So I would think like you would manage to get from one point to the other like in a very short amount of time, maybe, I don't know, like 20 minutes or something. But obviously I don't know, like maybe it isn't like that, or maybe like they have like speed limits, it's their thing, so clearly not. But obviously I want to know like how actually it takes you like going from one place to the other, to one end, then what from one end to the other end, because I'm super curious about it. And also like the whole observation deck, I don't know how to call it, where he stopped. I'm guessing it's like in the middle of it. That it's like there's a restaurant, and obviously I think they tell you like the whole history of it. Obviously it's a very touristy attraction, and they have like this incredible statue of the guy, well, not the guy that built it, the Cornelius, the guy that came up with the idea. Obviously he didn't like build it himself, and there's, I love the little monument to the actual builders. But it's like there's only have like that sort of like observation deck. I'm guessing yes, you know, they only have one, because at the end of the day, obviously that's like the touristy attraction. And maybe if it's like a long journey and you have to like do this, it's good to have like a stop when, you know, people want to go to the bathroom, they want to grab a bite to eat, or they would just want to like enjoy the scenery. Like it seems like a good idea to have something like this. but you're not gonna have like several of them maybe, because at the end of the day, like, this is a motorway, it's a highway, like people, they need to get through from one place to the other. This is not like a park. It's like, no, people, they needs to be functional. But it's crazy, and the fact that it has lasted like that long, 1920s, so like 80 years, and it's still standing. I'm guessing obviously they maintained it as throughout the years, but it was like they had to do repairs and stuff, because obviously a structure, I don't think it's meant to last like that. That's such a huge amount of time. I think you usually build things with the purpose of like them lasting. But again, it's like the 1920s, things have changed, and engineering has changed, the materials have changed. I don't think they resemble that much to the things that they were using back in the day. So of course it doesn't surprise me that they have to like make repairs, and they're probably some, like, I don't know if they're remodeling the thing or is they're just repairing and maybe replacing some things. But again, incredible that it has lasted as long as it has, and completely functional. Like, that's crazy. And I think obviously they are also doing it because of like the rising sea levels like in the world. So of course it makes sense that they're like planning for the future, because it's like, we're gonna take advantage of this, like we're repairing the thing, well, let's just like we have to like make it higher, obviously, because the sea levels are rising, so we don't want any catastrophes or flooding or whatever. So it's good, they're always thinking ahead, and I think that's the Dutch in a nutshell. But this was incredibly interesting. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I'll see you next time. Bye.